Buenos días a todos, buenas tardes, buenas noches, en dependencia en qué parte del mundo se encuentren. Hoy estaremos retomando la conferencia del doctor Xie Wenze, profesor chino, que el jueves pasado tuvimos dificultades, así que posiblemente muchos de los que estén en el chat ya han estado jueves. No obstante, yo vuelvo a presentar la sesión para recordarles que este es un evento coordinado por la Cátedra China Contemporánea y Flaxo Cuba con la colaboración del Instituto de Estudios de América Latina de la Academia China de Ciencias Sociales. Esta conferencia forma parte del quinto ciclo latinoamericano de conferencias sobre China contemporánea, cuarta reunión ministerial China-CELAC. Hoy tenemos el placer de tener la conferencia Ciencia, Tecnología e Innovación, IA 5G, Transformación Digital China, a cargo del doctor Xie Wenze. El doctor Xie Wenze es un destacado investigador del Departamento Económico del Instituto de Estudios de América Latina de la Academia China de Ciencias Sociales y profesor de la Academia China de Ciencias Sociales. Comienzo ya para darle paso al doctor, recordándoles que al final de la conferencia, en el chat se dejará el link para completar la asistencia, que luego les permitirá obtener un certificado a quienes participen en al menos cuatro de las sesiones. Sin más, le vuelvo a dar la bienvenida al doctor Xie Wenze y crucemos dedos para que hoy podamos seguir la sesión hasta el final. Bienvenido, profesor.
Okay, muchas gracias. Okay, good morning, good evening, everyone online. At this moment, it's my pleasure to have this chance sharing with you some viewpoints, understandings about the digital transformation in China. I think some of you have known a lot, even have had personal experiences in China about the Chinese digital economy, the process of China's digital transformation. Of course, as we have known that the digital transformation is one complicated process. AI and 5G are two important areas in this process of transformation. So it is very difficult for us to discuss everything about China's digital transformation only within 30 minutes or 40 minutes. But by using half an hour or 40 minutes, I would like giving you a very brief introduction about China's digital transformation. My presentation has 6 parts. The first part, a very brief introduction about some understandings about the transformation, about the process of digital transformation. Firstly, the definition or the concept of digital economy. Up to today, we have different definitions and concepts about digital economy, such as World Bank, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Some advanced countries, such as the United States, European Union, and Japan, They have their own definitions and concepts about the digital economy. In China, we have our own definition and concept. In China, we are thinking the digital economy is one new economic form. This is one basic understanding in China about the process of digital transformation. Two important issues about the Chinese understanding about digital economy. The first key issue is the historical perspective. The first issue is the historical perspective. As one economic form, we have experienced the agricultural economy, the industrial economy, now the digital economy. China, lots of Latin American countries, we have done great contributions to the development of agricultural economy. However, in the development of industrial economy, China and the Latin American countries, we are staying in one situation of backwardness. Even though during the past several decades, since 1980s, China has been developing the industrial economy very fast. Now, we are facing the coming of digital economy. China, Latin American countries, and the other developing countries, we must catch up this new historical opportunity. Otherwise, we are facing the risk of falling back into the situation of backwardness, maybe for another several centuries, even forever. This is the first key issue about the understanding of digital economy. The second key issue about the understanding is the level of digitalization. While we are using different definitions and concepts to consider, to analyze the level of digitalization, we can have different results. For example, according to the definitions and concepts of World Bank, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, at present, the whole world, the level of digitalization around the whole world is about 15%. In other words, the digital economy occupies 15% of the global economy. However, while we are using the Chinese definition and concept. The digital economy has been about 50%, even more, of the world economy. So this about the definition and concepts of digital economy. We can have two important issues. The first important issue is the historical perspective from agricultural economy to industrial economy and now to the digital economy. The second key issue is the level of digitalization. Using the Chinese definition, the digital economy has been about 50% of the world economy. The second important issue about the digital economy is the four components. I just said that digital transformation has been a very hot topic, but the AI, the 5G are only two important factors or two important engines in the process of digital transformation. But according to the Chinese experience and according to the experiences of United States, European Union, and so on, the digital economy at least has four integrated components. The first, the digital industrialization. Digital industrialization mainly refers to the information and the communication sector, such as software, computer, telecommunication, the manufacturing of chips, and so on. The second component, the industrial digitalization, which refers to the digitalized industries, or in other words, the traditional industries are being upgraded by using the digital technologies. Such one very obvious example is the car, the manufacturing of vehicles, the manufacturing of clothes, and so on. The third component is the digital governance, covering almost all the areas of public policies, the public and the private security of personal data, big data, the capacity of calculation, and so on. In China, to some degree, the digital governance has been the one principal milestone of supporting the process of digitalization in China. The fourth component is the data value realization. The data value realization means that the data has been one factor of production. According to the traditional economic theories, we have two factors of production: labor and capital. Now, we have more and more factors of production. Data has been one important factor of production. Why we are using this understanding to consider the process of digitalization? The digital economy means, or the digital technologies mean, we are expanding our brains. As for the industrial economy, especially as a result of Industrial Revolution, we have expanded our arms, our legs, and so on. But the digital technologies are expanding our brains. The process of expanding must need the data value realization. Otherwise, it is impossible. Then, after introducing some brief understandings in China about the digital economy, digital technologies, the digital transformation, then the second part of this presentation, very brief introduction about the AI and 5G. Then, definitions. The definition of AI and 5G, we have different definitions and understandings. Here, I show you the definition in China. Basing on the definitions and the concepts in China, then I give you a very, very brief introduction about the current situation of development, AI and 5G. As for the development of AI in China, we have here I show you three important or three obvious achievements in the area of AI development in China. The first important achievement, even the most important achievement, is the development planning and public policy for supporting or for promoting the AI development in China, especially the central government of China, the provincial government, even the municipal government in China have made series of plans and public policies. The second important achievement in China is the data advantage. More population, more possibilities of collecting data. China is very populated, with the total population of China is about 1.4 billion. Very large volume of the population. So The third important achievement is the capacity or is the human resource of research and innovation. In recent years, each year, more than 10 million of college students being graduated and being entering into the labor market, while only 1% of them could be engineers in the research and innovation. It means thousands, thousands, even dozens thousands of college students could be the human resource in the research and innovation. So as for the AI development in China, these three achievements have been the important basis of supporting and promoting the AI development in China. The capacity of public sector, the advantage of big data, and the sufficient human resource in research and innovation. The development of 5G. Here, only two important issues or important achievements. The first, infrastructure development, the digital infrastructure development. One example, maybe some of you have known DeepSeek, zero costs. Why we are using DeepSeek? It is open to every user of the world, zero cost. One important reason is the digital infrastructure in China. Most of the large centers of big data are public infrastructure. By using these public digital infrastructures, all the components, all the digital components can use the public digital infrastructures to create their own advantages, to innovate their own technologies, and so on. At the same time, as we have known, the electricity, China has been the largest producer of green energy, the solar energy, the wind energy, the hydro energy, and so on. Very low price, sufficient and lower costs, green energy, the fast development of public digital infrastructures, the sufficient human resources, and so on. By basing all these achievements, the development of 5G in China has been very fast in recent years. As we have known that the digital economy AI and 5G are changing lots of things in China. The daily life, the production activities, the productive arrangement of models, even the governance of China, and so on. In China, we are talking about the digital economy, the digital technologies, digital economy, digital government, digital society, and so on. Here I only show you 4 cases. The first, smart manufacturing. And one special case is autonomous robots. Last month or this month, one world conference about robots just held in China, and last week one game of robots was held in Shenzhen. Of course, at the present, most of the robots are being used by manufacturing factories. At this moment and in near future, more and more family robots are being used. This is the first case, smart manufacturing. By using smart manufacturing, by using digital technologies, the companies in China can use less and less energy consumption, material consumption to produce more and products. The second case is healthcare. The remote patient monitoring, the telemedicine, precision medicine by using the remote methods. The doctors in the hospitals of Beijing can give the suitable medical treatment to another cities of China, even to the rural area. This has been very common in these days in China, and we can read some reports on internet, on newspapers, and so on. The third case is smart cities. Smart city has been discussed around the world. As for the smart cities, one special key issue is the smart energy management. We have known that the state grid of China, the very large state-owned enterprises in China in charge of the power grid. In recent years, the state grid of China has been very active in Brazil, using their own special technology. Smart energy management has been very important in recent years. Of course, another issues such as intelligent transportation, public safety and security, and so on. The fourth case is education. In recent years, especially this year, the digital technologies are changing the models, the methods in education, the primary school, secondary school, even the universities. The virtual reality VR, the augmented reality AR, and so on. Maybe some of you have tested the VR equipment, AR equipment in digital games. Now we are using more and more VR and AR in our education. So only 4 cases about the results. We can, by using these 4 cases, we can imagine the new daily living, the new production methods, the new ways of public the governance, the public governance, and the new models of education across the whole country of China. Of course, even though China has been one important innovator, one important center in the process of digitalization, but in China we are facing series of risks and challenges. Here I only introduce one special case. The industrial development of chips manufacturing. Chips, very important for digital economy, for AI, for 5G. In recent years, United States has been trying to stop the development of digital technologies in China. For example, last year or some other time, the former Speaker of White House, United States, said China was not permitted to develop the digital technologies which are not owned by the United States. This has been one well-known saying around the world. But China has the sufficient capability of developing our own industrial the manufacturing industry of the chips. In recent years, China has been developing the quantic chips, the quantic computer, and the quantic telecommunication, and so on. Not only the traditional chips. We can establish the production chain, the one complete production chain of the chips. Very soon, we can establish the whole production chain in this area. Even we are facing lots of serious challenges, but we still have more and more opportunities, such as the human resources in technological innovation, the economic growth and industrial upgrading in China, and we are using the digital technologies for improving the livelihood and by China is open to the whole world in the development of a digital economy. So by opening up, by further opening up, China can have more and more cooperations with other countries. Even in China, we can have more and more cooperations with some American companies. We can have lots of particular cases. I have confidence about the future, especially the future development of China's digital transformation. At least 5 areas of further process of digitalization in China. Here I only speaking that the deepening integration of AI and 5G. AI and 5G are 2 major engines in the process of digital transformation. Secondly, accelerating the development of 6G, quantum technology, and so on. 6G. In China, now we are testing the 6G across the whole country of China. We have tested the quantum technologies in man-made satellite, in the telecommunication between China and other countries, and so on. Thirdly, we are emphasizing on the core technology innovation, especially we are establishing one whole production chain of chips. The fourth, we are strengthening the data governance, not only the data governance inside of China, but also the global data governance. China has made initiatives about the global governance. The fifth, the inclusive digital transformation. The digital gap among different countries are very huge, even larger and larger. So China is open. So as you have known, China has not blockage on other countries. So by using this, we can make more and more progress, more and more development together. Finally, some personal and primary conclusions about AI, 5G, and the digital transformation. Firstly, AI and 5G are playing a very important, more and more important role in China's digital transformation. Secondly, national actions. To promote the digital transformation needs national actions, not only China, but also United States, European Union, Japan, and so on. We have known this a lot. The third, the journey of China's digital transformation is still going on, of course. We still have a long way to go. Now and in future, while we are talking about the level of development, we can say this country has been digitalized. Just like some years ago, even some decades ago, the advanced economies were generally named as the industrialized countries. the industrialized countries. Now and in the future, we need to talk that this country has been digitalized. This should be one common understanding about the digital transformation. So while we keep this understanding in our brains, we can imagine digitalized country, less digitalized country, and so on. Just like here at this moment, the developed country, less developed country, the country in development, or the country in digitalization, and so on. So this is a very brief introduction about China's digital transformation. Some basic here, three important things needs to be mentioned once again. The first, definitions and the concepts of China about digital economy. The second, the capacities, the national capacities of promoting the process of digitalization. Not only AI and 5G, but also we still need the industrial digitalization. We still need lots of public places and so on. The third, we need to consider the level of digitalization while we are talking about the future development. Okay, thank you very much for your patience. Now I think we can have some time. Any comments or any questions from all of you?
Thank you very much, Professor, for this amazing conference. Yes, we have a few questions in the chat. So
Yeah.
I will ask you a few questions from the chat so you can answer. So there's one of them says, "Hello, Professor. I'm from Costa Rica, studying in the Silk Road School from Reunión University in China. I am a software developer. My thesis is related to how Latin American software technology companies can benefit from using more Chinese tech like Alibaba or Tencent Cloud. Can you share your advantage and disadvantage for these companies that want to use more software technology from China instead of others like Google, Meta, OpenAI?"
Yeah. Yes.
So you want me, sorry, Professor. You want me to ask you one or two questions, or you wanna go one?
Yeah. That's for sure. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So there is another one who says, as China expands its leadership in quantum technology from encryption to computing, how can Chino-Mexican collaboration in this field strengthen Mexico's technological sovereignty, particularly given U.S. dominance in adjacent sectors like semiconductors? And their models, example, joint research hubs, infrastructure partnership that could help Mexico navigate geopolitical tensions while benefiting from Chinese innovation? How should Mexico balance partnership with China and the US in critical technologies, especially as quantum advancements redefine cybersecurity and trade dynamics?
Yeah.
So you can answer that, and then we go from other 2 or 3 more questions. That's okay?
Okay. Okay. As for the first question, as the personal experiences of mine in recent in recent years, I have been using lots of Chinese AI to not only in my jobs but also in my daily livings. DeepSeek, Alibaba, Meituan, and so lots of AI platforms and AI technologies in China. For me, I think two things need to be considered while we are talking about these things. The first, the public digital infrastructures. For example, the 5G ground station in China. China has built nearly 5 million, maybe nearly 6 million of 5G ground stations. This has been public digital infrastructures. It means that 5G and has been covering almost the whole country of China. This is the this is the infrastructural condition. The second, the openness of technologies. Of course, the property rights must be protected strictly and legally, but the usage that these technologies of China are open to all the customers and users. So this is these two things needs to be considered in your own country and in China and so on. But how to use it is to be a complicated topic because of geopolitical issues, because of the monopoly of United States, even the monopoly of European Union, and so on. Of course, it's as for the cooperation between China and Mexico, we need, personally, I think the technological or the digital competition between China and United States. At this moment, the digital competition between China and United States, China has been emerging in the competition. Of course, maybe it's like using the digital conflicts or the digital war between China and United States. I'm sure of that. China has sufficient capabilities for winning the digital competition with United States. Then, as for Mexico, the semiconductor, yes, at this moment, semiconductor, the chips, still important. But within several years, within several coming years, one new kind of semiconductor could be produced in China, quantum chips. The quantum chips will change almost everything, not only semiconductor, but also the software, the computer, the telecommunication equipment, even the space aircraft, and so on, almost everything. Then China, Mexico, and China, some other Latin American countries, we should find out the suitable solutions for more and more cooperation. For example, Costa Rica is a special case. The the production of semiconductor, and the production chain between China and Costa Rica. Intel had one manufacturing factory in Costa Rica, and the chips were the major products exported from Costa Rica to China several years ago. But maybe in recent years, this trade has been less and less. I think we can find out new solutions to re-establish the production chain between China and Costa Rica, between China and Mexico. Of course, this very interesting topic about these things. Yeah, basically two personal ideas. The first personal idea is to develop the public digital infrastructures. The second is the digital competition between China and United States. Just like what I said now, not only between China and United States, but also among almost all the countries. Digitalized, or the digitalization. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor. So there is another few questions. So the chat asks, how is it going, the development of 6G in China? Also, do you think that Latin America is more of a receiving partner of technological and educational cooperation due to the inequality and disparity among those countries and within their society? Or do you believe Latin America is starting to cooperate in a similar capacity or scope? And also, if you have any example of technological exchange between universities and or institutions of China and universities in Latin America, especially public universities.
As I have known, in the area of 6G and in the area of quantum technologies, we have very seldom cooperation between China and Latin American countries, even among the universities. I think only one reason. We are still staying at the initial stage of the development. Even in China, we are still testing and experimenting these new kinds of technologies. United States, European Union, Japan, all of us are still staying at the initial stage. I'm sure of that. In several years, the technologies of 6G, quantum technology, and so on should be more and more mature, and then we can have the capabilities and the possibilities of cooperation. But from the perspective of colleges and universities, I think we can start the cooperation of education, training, and doing some innovation together, and so on. For me, I one personal experience of mine in your region. Even at this moment, and even in the coming years, the 5G still is one important area of development in your region. But comparatively, some Latin American countries have been developing the conditions of 4G, 5G very fast. But as for 6G, in the fields of education, training, and joint innovation, we can have possibilities among the different technologies, like Tsinghua University, the Southern University of China in Shenzhen, and so on. The chancellor of Southern University, Shenzhen, is a very famous scientist in the area of quantum technology. Of course, Tsinghua University the same. But one special thing is that almost all the famous universities of China being how to say being in the situation of blockage of the United States. So this is a very special issue. Yeah. Okay, Mario, otras.
Yes, Professor. I think we can answer one more, and then we can close the session. So
Yes.
there is another one. It says, like, by implementing Chinese technology in Latin America and the Caribbean, how might China face employment challenges that emerge from the modernization of technology that might eliminate different job positions?
Yeah. It is. I don't think so, because in China, but I'm not so for. Hello, Mario.
Yes, Professor.
Mario. Yeah. Yes. Please, you repeat the question once again.
Yes. So it says, like, by implementing Chinese technology in Latin America and the Caribbean, how might China face employment challenges that emerge from the modernization of technology that might eliminate different job positions?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. This is a very important issue. Now, even in all the whole world is thinking about this issue. The substitution of labor by using the digital technologies, especially the manufacturing robots. Yes, this has been another key issue is the digital technologies being used in wars. So we have to consider these key issues, not only China, but also the whole world. What China can do is very limited in this area. The Latin American and the Caribbean region, your region, comparatively is plenty of labor resource. But the AI the manufacturing robot do not mean less and less labor needed in the industrial sector. It does not mean so. However, my opinion is that while you are using more and more AI, 5G, digital technologies, we can have more and more new kinds of jobs, just like in China. In China, the younger generation of Chinese does not like working hard, but they prefer better life. For example, less and less younger Chinese do not prefer working in manufacturing factories. Do not prefer working in the fields or in the sites of building, construction, rural area, and so on. Then we have to use manufacturing robots. On the other side, there have been emerging so many platform economies in China. Dozens million of younger Chinese workers being employed in different platform economies. Of course, according to the definition of CEPAL, most of your countries, these new kinds of of jobs should be treated as informal employment. But according to the new situation and conditions in China, we are treating them as the flexible employment. So this yes, we are facing these new challenges, but we have to face them. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor Xie, for this amazing conference again.
Thank you.
We are very pleased also for the chat. We wanna thank you all for participating today. Remember, in the chat will be available the link for you to perform the form to get your certificate for this conference. So we invite you all chat to the following sessions in this tomorrow and the next week.
Yeah.
So, Professor,
okay.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good night. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.